Well, I think good for me that I had been the founding CEO of Scoot. So I'd had 5 years with the company in its very earliest days. And so when I came back to Scoot, there was a lot of trust, familiarity. But by day 4, everyone was told to go home by the government and didn't come back for quite some number of months, which I tried not to take personally. But clearly it's been an unprecedented period for us all, not least in the airlines. Scoot was flying to Wuhan at the very early days of the pandemic, so our immediate crisis was one of staff safety and comfort. Then when the pandemic progressed, it became an issue of customer disruption, network disruption, operational disruption, which then became a customer service crisis because everyone was stuck in the wrong place or wanted their refunds, which then became a liquidity crisis because we refunded everyone in cash, which then led to contract renegotiations, cost cutting, ultimately some downsizing. So the first few months was really just a matter of survival and trying to find a way to navigate through.
In terms of Scoot, does it make it trickier for you in particular as a budget airline that doesn't have that domestic market?
Well, unquestionably, not having a domestic market is a huge challenge for us. We've seen that the first markets to open up have been domestic markets, and I talk about the ones that have recovered to almost pre-COVID levels. They're all based on domestic strength. So it's been a real challenge for us. Unexpectedly, the routes that we commenced earlier were actually the long-haul routes to Athens and Berlin, and so the intra-Asia network is taking a while to restore.
Putting COVID to one side, in terms of the lessons that you learned from the past, perhaps through the GFC, perhaps through the SARS pandemic, what do you take from all of that experience to apply to what comes next?
I take confidence, quite frankly, if you go back and look at history, whether it is Gulf War, whether it's SARS, whether it's 9/11, whether it's GFC, in the long arc of history, the impact of those events, whilst it felt dramatic and unprecedented at the time, was relatively short-lived. Now, the impact from the pandemic is orders of magnitude stronger than any of those, but I think just repeatedly, given that we've seen a full recovery is a matter of not if, but when.